Hey there. Glad you came back to listen to another daily goodnight story. As you already finished the last activities of the day, don't forget to connect your phone to the charger and set the timer so playback stops automatically. We'll check your pillow, get comfortable, and relax while listening to today's story. In a small village nestled between rolling hills, there lived a young boy named Flint. He was just 10 years old but had big dreams in his heart. Flint loved to hear stories about the towering mountain that stood tall at the edge of their village. It was called the Great Guardian, and at its highest peak, hidden among the clouds, was the legendary Eagle's Nest. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, painting the sky with shades of pink and orange, Flint would sit on a rock near his house and gaze up at the mountain's imposing figure. He would imagine himself climbing up, step by step, until he reached the Eagle's Nest and felt the wind on his face as he looked out over the world below. Someday, Flint would whisper to himself, I'll climb that mountain and stand at the top. Flint's friends would laugh and cheer him on. You can do it, Flint. You'll be the youngest person ever to reach the Eagle's Nest. His parents, too, smiled at his enthusiasm, proud of their adventurous son. Just be careful, Flint, his mother would say. The Great Guardian is a mighty mountain, and climbing it can be dangerous. But Flint was not afraid. He wanted to prove to everyone, especially himself, that he could do something amazing. He dreamed of the fame and admiration he would receive from the villagers. He imagined how proud his parents would be when they saw him standing at the Eagle's Nest, looking like a hero from one of the stories he loved. The next morning, Flint woke up early, full of excitement. Today was the day he would begin his journey to the Eagle's Nest. He quickly put on his favorite hiking boots and stuffed a small bag with some snacks and a bottle of water. As he set out on the trail leading to the Great Guardian, he could feel his heart pounding with anticipation. The path was well trodden, and he could see the footprints of other villagers who had ventured up the mountain before. But Flint was not interested in taking the familiar winding route. He was eager to reach the top as quickly as possible, so he decided to take a shortcut that he thought would save time. With each step, the path became steeper, and the trees around him grew taller and thicker. Flint's determination pushed him forward, but he didn't realize how quickly the terrain was changing. The ground beneath him became rockier and more treacherous. Soon Flint found himself in unfamiliar territory, surrounded by loose rocks and slippery stones. He began to scramble and climb, ignoring the warnings that echoed in his mind. Be careful, Flint, he thought, but his eagerness to reach the Eagle's Nest drowned out the cautionary voices. Time passed, and Flint was far higher than he had ever been before. The village below looked like a tiny speck, and the air was thinner, making it harder to breathe. Yet Flint didn't slow down. He was so close to his dream that he couldn't turn back now. But just as he took one more step, a loose rock shifted beneath his foot. Flint tried to regain his balance, but it was too late. He tumbled backward, his heart pounding in fear as he rolled down the mountainside, bumping into rocks and bushes. Finally, with a thud, he came to a stop. Flint lay there, his body bruised and scratched, feeling both embarrassed and grateful that he hadn't fallen from an even higher place. Tears welled up in his eyes as he realized he had been too hasty and foolish. He had let his excitement and ambition blind him to the dangers of rushing too quickly. The dream of reaching the Eagle's Nest felt so far away now. In pain and with a heavy heart, Flint began to make his way back down the mountain, his head hanging low. Along the way, he met a kind old man named Benjamin, who was known in the village for his wisdom and experience in climbing. Benjamin gently helped Flint to his feet and listened to his story. I understand your dream, young one, he said with a warm smile, but climbing the Great Guardian is not something to take lightly. It requires patience, preparation, and a deep respect for the mountain. As Flint sat there, humbled and ready to listen, Benjamin shared stories of his own climbs, the challenges he faced, and the lessons he learned. He spoke about the beauty of the journey, not just the destination, and the importance of taking one step at a time. Feeling wiser, Flint thanked Benjamin for his guidance and vowed to learn from his mistakes. He realized that reaching the Eagle's Nest was a journey that required careful planning and a steady approach, not just an eager sprint. And so, with newfound wisdom and determination, Flint set out on a different path, one that would lead him step by step with patience and perseverance to the highest highs of his dreams. The journey had just begun, and Flint was ready to embrace every moment of it. As the days passed, Flint continued to learn from the kind old man, Benjamin. They would often meet near the mountain, sitting on the same rock where Flint used to gaze up at the peak with stars in his eyes. But now their conversations were filled with wisdom and guidance rather than impulsive dreams. Benjamin taught Flint the importance of understanding the mountain's moods and the value of respecting its power. He showed him how to study the weather and the best times to climb, emphasizing that safety should always come first. "Remember, Flint," Benjamin said, "the mountain is not something to conquer. It is a friend to be respected and a teacher to learn from. Its lessons can be both harsh and rewarding." Flint listened attentively, absorbing every word like a sponge. He now understood that climbing the Great Guardian was not just about reaching the eagle's nest, but about the journey itself. It was about growing as a person, learning to appreciate nature, and finding one's true self amidst the challenges. With Benjamin's guidance, Flint started his preparations. He learned to pack his backpack with essential supplies like food, water, a map, and a first aid kit. He practiced climbing on smaller hills to improve his skills and build strength. The village noticed a change in Flint. He became more patient and focused, eager to learn from Benjamin and apply the wisdom to his life. He no longer sought fame, but instead desired the satisfaction of a meaningful journey. As the seasons turned, Flint's dedication and passion for climbing became well known in the village. Other children started looking up to him as an example of determination and wisdom beyond his years. One day, as Flint and Benjamin sat near the foot of the mountain, a group of older boys approached them. These boys were known for their arrogance and were impressed by Flint's transformation. They decided to test him. "Hey, Flint," one of the boys called out. "You think you're so great because you listen to the old man's stories? Prove it. Climb to the top of the Great Guardian." Flint remained calm, knowing that he didn't need to prove anything to them. "I'll climb the mountain someday," he replied confidently, "but not to show off. I climb because I love the journey, and I respect the mountain's power." The older boys were taken aback by Flint's response. They had expected him to boast or get angry, but his humility surprised them. Benjamin smiled, proud of the young boy's newfound wisdom. "You see," Benjamin said to the older boys, "Flint understands that climbing is not just about reaching the top, it's about understanding ourselves and the world around us. Maybe you can learn something from him too." The older boys were silent for a moment, humbled by Flint's words. They nodded and walked away, leaving Flint and Benjamin to continue their conversation. As the years passed, Flint continued to learn from Benjamin, always taking his time and savoring the journey of life. His determination to climb the Great Guardian never wavered, but he knew that it was a goal worth waiting for. One evening, as the sun set over the village, Flint looked up at the mountain with a sense of peace in his heart. He knew that one day he would stand at the eagle's nest, but he also knew that it was not just about the destination. It was about the lessons he had learned and the person he had become. And so, with patience and wisdom guiding him, Flint continued to prepare for that momentous climb. The villagers admired his newfound humility, determination, and respect for the mountain. One day, as he sat with Benjamin on the rock near the mountain, the wise old man placed a hand on Flint's shoulder and said, "You are ready, my young friend. When the time is right, the Great Guardian will welcome you with open arms." With a smile and a heart filled with gratitude, Flint nodded. He knew that his journey was not just about climbing a mountain. It was about becoming the best version of himself and embracing the beauty of life's every step. The day had finally arrived. The village was abuzz with excitement as Flint prepared for his long-awaited climb of the Great Guardian. He had spent years training, learning, and preparing for this moment. Flint knew that the time was right, and he felt a sense of peace in his heart as he looked up at the majestic mountain before him. With his backpack filled with supplies, Flint stood at the base of the Great Guardian, ready to take the first step of his purposeful climb. Benjamin, his wise mentor, stood by his side, offering final words of encouragement. "Remember everything you've learned, Flint," Benjamin said, placing a hand on Flint's shoulder. "This journey is not just about the destination. It's about the growth and wisdom gained with each step. Stay patient, stay focused, and let the mountain guide you." "I will, Benjamin," Flint replied with determination in his eyes. "Thank you for being with me every step of the way." And with that, Flint began his ascent. He started on the familiar path, one that he had explored with Benjamin over the years. Step by step he climbed steadily, his heart filled with a sense of purpose and gratitude. The mountain greeted Flint with challenges along the way, loose rocks, steep inclines, and gusts of wind that seemed to test his resolve. But Flint remained calm, remembering Benjamin's teachings and taking each obstacle in stride. As he climbed higher, the air grew thinner, and the views became more breathtaking. Flint marveled at the beauty of nature surrounding him, the lush green valleys below, the snow-capped peaks in the distance, and the vast expanse of the sky above. The journey was not easy, but Flint persevered. He knew that every step, every struggle, and every moment of awe would shape him into the person he aspired to become. With each milestone, Flint celebrated not just the progress, but the lessons learned. He discovered the importance of patience during moments of frustration, the strength of determination during times of doubt, and the joy of camaraderie as he crossed paths with fellow climbers. As the sun set, casting a warm golden glow over the mountain, Flint found himself at a resting spot where he could see the village below. It looked so small from up there, a reminder of how far he had come. He felt a mix of emotions: pride for his progress, gratitude for the journey, and humility before the mountain's might. Nightfall approached and Flint settled down to rest. He gazed up at the stars twinkling above, feeling a connection to the universe that he had never experienced before. The night air was crisp and calm, a comforting embrace from the mountain. As the first light of dawn painted the horizon, Flint resumed his climb, renewed with energy and determination. The path became steeper and more challenging, but he felt a sense of clarity and purpose that pushed him forward. At last, after days of climbing, Flint reached a high ridge where he could see the eagle's nest in the distance. It felt like a dream come true, yet he knew that reaching the summit was only part of the journey. With a heart full of gratitude, Flint stepped onto the final stretch, the trail leading to the eagle's nest. The wind gently brushed against his face, whispering encouragement as he ascended. As he stood atop the eagle's nest, a breathtaking view unfolded before him. The world seemed to stretch out endlessly, and Flint felt a profound sense of connection with nature and everything around him. He was humbled by the beauty of the world and the grandeur of the mountain. In that moment, Flint understood the true essence of the climb, the purpose behind every step. It wasn't just about standing at the highest peak. It was about embracing the journey, the growth, and the wisdom gained along the way. With a heart brimming with gratitude, Flint took a deep breath of mountain air, feeling a profound sense of fulfillment. He knew that he would carry this experience with him forever, not just as a memory of reaching the eagle's nest, but as a reminder of the valuable lessons learned throughout his purposeful climb. As Flint made his way back down the Great Guardian, he took his time, savoring each step and cherishing the journey. When he finally arrived back in the village, he was welcomed with cheers and admiration. But this time, Flint didn't seek fame or recognition. Instead, he shared his story with the villagers, emphasizing the wisdom he gained from Benjamin and the joy of the purposeful climb. Flint realized that the true gift of the journey was not just for himself, but for others to learn from as well. And so, as the years passed, Flint taught others that reaching the highest highs in life wasn't just about achieving great feats, but about finding wisdom, gratitude, and joy in every step of the climb. Tomorrow, we'll journey together once more. Until we meet again, may your dreams carry you to far-off lands and hidden wonders. Good night, and sleep well.